want to be a better you. In fact, that's it. There are conversations to a better you that we like to have on the show, and we hope that you feel empowered and you are inspired to get moving about what it is that you're going to set out to do. We're having a great time in studio with one George Simiyu. He is a personal development coach and an author. The author of this book that I'm holding in studio, From Resolution to Execution, is up for grabs by simply DMing me on my Instagram as @ShikoKaitani and letting me know that you want this book. In fact, we need to ask you why you want this book, okay? Why is it that you want the book Resolution to Execution, or From Resolution to Execution by George Simiyu? Let me know and I'll be able to actually pick 2 winners from my DM, and we will definitely figure out how one copy is getting to you. So Simiyu, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
We are throwing this word why around, okay?
Yeah.
And the reason we're telling people to send in their why is because George actually highlighted in the first half that if you don't have a why, what is the reason behind what you want to do, behind your goal, behind your resolution? If your why is not strong enough, then everything is going to crumble. So what is your why? George, what was your why when you decided to write this book?
Shiko, I engage people big time.
Yeah.
In the corporate, training them. Actually, I speak much to people. And then sometimes I do a lot of coaching to people. And so I realized there was a time when I could meet people.
Yeah.
And today we have a discussion. Then when you meet next time, maybe you realize you're still stuck somewhere.
People are stuck.
People are stuck. You pass this resolution, then after some period of time, they're stuck. So that really inspired me to think of how can I help people. Sometimes people want to have something just to really make a reference to.
Right.
Yeah. And so put down some thoughts on what exactly they need to do in order to fill the gaps.
Yeah.
And get to the desired destination they want. And that's now what birthed this book, From Resolution to Execution. Answering the question, what do you need to do in order to move from that resolution to that point of getting the results?
Wow.
Sure.
What was the writing process like for you? Are we talking about tons and tons of research? Are we talking about strategies that you actually had to research on that are effective enough to coach people on? Tell us about that.
Well, writing is a very interesting journey, but again, any author or every author will always telling you that experiences are different. My experience may not be your experience, but at the end of the day, it also brings us to one end goal, a book in our hands. And for me, I think going back to what you just asked, sharing a bit about my journey in writing, I think writing really needs a lot of research.
Yeah.
You can never, writing and speaking, needs a lot of research. Nobody wants to listen to you if you don't make sense, or if you don't share with them something more than what they don't know. People want to associate with you again in this life because of one, you know something more than what they know. That's how life is. Nobody want to read this book if they come to a level knowing there's nothing new they're going to read in this book.
Right.
How can you spend hours just looking at something that's not going to challenge your mind or provoke you in a certain way? And that's what we do in these books.
Right.
Yeah, so it needs a lot of research. That's, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And research, this means you have to really also be a good reader. You vast when you do a lot of reading.
Right.
Because again, you can't do a repetition. Yeah, it should be something new. It made me know something so new because there's nothing new under the sun, really, but giving it a new perspective.
Right.
A new flesh that people say, what, I've never thought about it this way. Something like that. So
Yeah.
a lot of research. As you do that, also a good packaging, that's very important because people love good things, myself included. so you really have to think of how you're going to package your message.
Absolutely.
How you're going to put it out there.
Right.
Because if you don't want to do that, and so that also brings in something I share in this book, this topic I share on branding.
Branding.
How do you do that?
Yeah, how are you doing it? And it's not even sometimes what you're saying, it is how you're saying it. Yeah, how you packaging it that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may have good ideas, you may be the best, like what you think, but how you put out yourself out there, people say,
Okay.
I don't think I don't want this one.
But speaking about the research that you took to actually write this book, I had, kind of alluded to the fact that all successful people seem to have a couple of things in common. And I'm saying this because me, myself, having watched other shows, read quite a number of articles or motivational books, will talk about this. There's this je ne sais quoi thing about successful people that the rest of us as commoners don't understand. What is it that someone like Richard Branson, to Elon Musk, to Mark Zuckerberg, to Oprah, to who, Dr. Phil, are all understanding that we're not understanding, in your opinion? I mean, this is a matter of perspective. So for you, what is it that you feel?
Firstly, I think it's very important for us to define what success. Because we sometimes think they are the only successful.
Yeah.
And even somebody at the village somewhere there or in the estate thinks that they are not successful because I'm not the richer today.
But that's their success.
That is their success. For me, I feel it's good to understand that everyone gets to some level of success.
Okay. Yeah.
But there are some attributes that we find them now that the world has given them an opportunity to be so visible, and they have made some incredible impact in the society, and they have some good qualities that we'll admire.
Yeah.
But even somebody has it, is only that they don't take it so seriously. Like what I mentioned when you started this show is they're not secret to success. Those people are disciplined. They'll tell you that. You hear somebody tell you, I wake up at this time.
Yeah.
But again, that does not mean that if Richard wakes up by 4 a.m., you should wake up by 4 a.m. No, that works for him.
Right.
You can wake up by 8, and you're so you do a lot of meaningful activities within like few hours. Then you get your catch. Though there is also the importance of just, for example, I mentioned something on waking up early. That's very important.
Right.
So they are disciplined. That's something.
That's discipline. Okay.
They have focus. That is also. They are risk takers. So how much risk are you ready to take? You'll hear somebody say, this is a much I invested in this whole program or in this idea, and today it's this way. So the question is, how much are you able to do on what you hear about them? When they say you should be a risk taker, are you taking risk in your own sphere? When you hear them say being disciplined, how, I know being disciplined is very painful. How much are you able to endure to be disciplined in order to get to that desired destination that you want?
Right.
And so when you say they have some good actionable strategies, what are your strategies that are so much relevant in your context, and say, you know what, you can't just dream today and say, I want to get there. Yes, you'll get there, but it's a whole process.
Yeah.
You have to do little things like say, how consistent are you? And in your own space, in whatever thing you want, trust me, you'll get there.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to meet them, you'll notice that there is nothing really so new about them. All these things is an open book.
Yeah.
If you want to open your eyes and see and do it. The question is, like even what I keep on referring here, we know what we want sometimes. The challenge is we are not taking action. Or we are feeling we are not good enough to do it.
Right.
If today I tell you you'll be on BBC tomorrow, you're wondering, me, Siko? Can I get there? How? Do I even have the voice? And you have the potential.
Right.
You can believe in yourself and throw yourself in the deep end and then see how it comes.
Yeah.
So just in a nutshell, how I find it is these people, they do the common things in an uncommon way. Yeah.
It's true. And I think, Sauti Soul comes to mind here because they, in one of their songs, they say we focus on the glory, but we don't understand the story.
Yeah.
And the truth here is, that's it. We're seeing the end products of what these individuals had to go through for years.
Yes. Challenge is, I want to be like you today.
How?
Like some people out there, they're like, I want to be like Shiko.
How?
Nobody knows your story. And if you walk through your journey, they'll be wondering, okay, this is what you've gone through to get to this space. The thing is, what you can just summarize is appreciate the process. Whatever thing you want to get into, appreciate the process.
Right.
Don't be a person of excuses, big time, because as I keep on saying, excuses will always excuse you from greatness or whatever thing you want.
Right.
Why didn't you do this? You are giving an excuse, or you haven't done it. This was your resolution. Why haven't you? I didn't get the resources. I didn't get the right network. Some of these things, sometimes we keep on saying, I don't have them. You can only get them when you're making them move.
Yeah.
You can only stumble on them when you're walking or you're making the on that path.
Yeah.
So the concern here is you get started. Then things begin to fall in place. Like we keep on saying, the world now will conspire to come and help you get there. Be celebrated one day.
Yeah.
But if you just sit in your couch and say, you know what, this is what I desire, this is what I want, and you keep on, even the Bible says, prayer without action.
Yes,
You
it's
keep
there.
on referring to that.
Right.
What's your action today? Like you just mentioned something, the year is started. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
How far so far?
How far so far?
Yes. Or you've already thrown in the towel and said, this thing is hard.
Yeah.
Well, the choice again is yours. But you have a chance to just make the right decision and do something about your life.
Right.
And you have the potential. You can do it.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
you can do it. As long as you're alive, you can turn the tables.
Simiyu, there was a trend that started, a couple of years ago, really did catch on. Still, growing, because there are individuals who still don't see the essence of this or what it is. They don't really understand it. But let me just bring in vision boards at this particular point in time, and why it's so important, or why there are very many coaches in particular who preach and swear by the power of placing or writing,
Vision board.
visualizing, putting into pictures your goal or your dreams. Why is it so important?
If we had time, we'll go into the history on why did people start doing that.
Yeah.
There are those who have the vision board, like what you mentioned, and it worked for them. That's a good thing anyway. But the main thing why we have them is to just help you have a mental picture, visualizing, like, this is what I want. Like now we're talking about two things. Number one, visualizing, and the vision board. Now to visualize here, we're just having a mental picture of what exactly you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some will put even the vision boards in the places where they can see and refer to. The reason is for this, just to really keep them motivated.
Right.
Keep them focused. Keep reminding them that, you know what, this is what you want. Get an inspiration. You don't have time to procrastinate. This is what you're looking at, and this is the time frame. So the moment you pull that out of your picture, then other things will definitely come to occupy it.
Yeah.
And you may not, it may not be the thing you wanted. So visualizing that this is what I want is very important. But again, Shiko, have to mention this, that visualization is not just one event.
Okay.
It is a whole process that you have to keep on doing from time to time. You can't just sit here today and say, okay, I visualize that day and that is it. You have to really learn the art again.
Right.
Of just finding a quiet place, a quiet time, thinking through and say, what exactly do I want? Are you able to see it? Do you know, again, in this life, if you can't really figure out what you want, you'll not get it.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So what exactly do I want? Can I see it? Is it a house I want to build? Do I have really a picture of it?
Right.
Once you get that clear, you'll be on the right trajectory to make progress on the whatever you want to pursue.
Right.
But have it.
Have it.
Yeah.
I've seen also options of people just simply writing it down, like journaling. That's also quite effective for a number of individuals as well. So you can choose what works for you, I suppose.
Yeah, even just to mention something about writing, it's very important because you at least have a place to refer to. And once you can always make a reference to something, I think, like what I just mentioned, it's important because you're already accountable to yourself. Like, why did you write it at the first place? Yeah,
because there are some people who will be like, okay, I decided this back in 2024, and now we're in 2024.
Yes,
I mean 2014, and then now we're in 2024. And they're thinking in between that entire decade.
Yes.
Okay, what was I doing? And then why did you write it back in 2014?
Yeah, they lost it.
Yeah, you lost it somewhere along the way.
And maybe it's also, if it's good for us to look at why do you think people get to that space, like they lose the momentum.
Yeah.
They lose the focus. Some of the things I find is because we were not so clear about what we really wanted sometime. Or we had a lot. You know, you can find somebody who has like now the goals. I have like 15. We mentioned something on being realistic.
Yeah.
There are those who they don't believe in themselves and they lose it. So there are quite a number of
Reasons
or factors that can cause us to find ourselves in that way. But above everything, you have the ability to revive back and get on the right track and do what's needed and achieve the desired goal.
What are your tips on how to not face burnout in your journey? Because like you had said, there will be challenges. Getting to your goal doesn't mean it's a straight line. There will be pit stops along the way, but there has to be something that's got to keep you going. Of course, you've talked about the why, but what other tips would you recommend for people to just practice so that they keep their eye on the prize?
Well, Shiko, one, it's good to mention this. Facing a burnout is a natural thing. And you're not the only one. If today you're experiencing, know that you're not the only one. People out there and almost everyone experiences it. So once you get there, you have to understand that there are some reasons as to why you experience the burnout. Number one, is it, when you know the why, that's very important.
Yeah.
We always keep on saying this, that there is no recovery without discovery. And even if you go to doctors, they'll tell you that. They begin by trying to really
discover what
discover
the issue
your problem.
is. Yeah.
So it's very important for our viewers to just understand that you really have to get to the bottom of the matter. Why am I experiencing this burnout? Why am I feeling so much overwhelmed?
Yeah.
One, is it maybe because I procrastinate big time? You know, there are those, that's something that you really caused by yourself. There was something you wanted to do that you had said to do.
Yeah.
But as time doing life, you realize you kept on pushing it aside. And very interesting, any task that you put aside, it will go and come back with friends. Yeah. You wanted to do something in the morning,
Like that.
you did not do it.
Yes.
In the afternoon, that activity will come back glaring at you with two friends, two other more tasks.
Right.
Now you're feeling overwhelmed. So how will I sort all this matter? So the bottom line here is you procrastinated. And they keep on telling people, whatever must be done today, do it today.
Right.
You don't have to really push it aside and say, you know what, I may do it tomorrow or another day. Like you say, people will do it. There's no even day like tomorrow. If you check our calendar, you only have Monday to Sunday. Is there another day called tomorrow?
Yes.
So we have to be very intentional about this. Some of the things, again, that make people to be so much overwhelmed is they don't have the focus. Along the way, you lost the focus.
Yeah.
You digress to something different.
Right.
So really know what's your problem. Is it that I said, yes, I sit down, I am so clear of what I want, but I'm not disciplined?
Yes.
You know, if you're not disciplined, chances are you'll not do what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like what Jim Rohn says, there's something very important that he says, that there are two kinds of pain. The pain of regret, if you don't do that you want to do, then of course you'll have to regret.
Yeah.
And it's not a good space.
The wish I could have,
I
shoulda.
wish I could.
Yeah.
That one is so weighty, so painful.
The coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah. So
type of
just
pain.
be disciplined, because if you're not, you'll feel overwhelmed because of these things have not been done.
It is true.
Some other reasons you find people are not able to, they feel overwhelmed because they were not, yes, they knew what they wanted, but they didn't have good actionable plans. You know, just waking up and saying, now, I want to get to this matter. And what are the very specific things I need to do?
Right.
This is my strategy. Like now, these are media house. Maybe say it's marketing. What exactly about this marketing that you're going to do?
Right.
What are the specific things? And some people, they don't have those kind of things. I just want to do this. But if now you sit down with them and ask them, now, let's get real to this matter.
All right.
On this matter. What exactly do you want to, or how do you want to go about it? Or they may have one or two things, but we have some other better options. So it's good just to do more research, and then really, when you engage on something, you're so much informed. We always say you can always make better decisions when you are well informed. So try as much as you can to also be much informed.
Yeah.
Because you'll avoid the regret that I wish I could have tried this, and I know time is not on the side. So there are quite a number of things that people need to really consider when they're just doing trying to avoid being overwhelmed. But the truth is, you'll be overwhelmed.
Like it or not.
Yeah, I like it or not, because nothing good comes easy.
Nothing good comes easy.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. And so even as we begin to wind up, because I understand we've got about 4 minutes or so, is really to cap it the power of positivity while you're trying to, you know, hit your goals, when you're striving for your goals. Why does, you know, your mental state and how you view things, your attitude, really matter when it comes to your resolutions or to your goals, so to speak?
Shiko, is very important to keep a positive mind, positive, being positive about the whole situation. It will help you big time, because it will even position your mindset. You understand, Shiko, that you can never rise in this life beyond your mindset. And that also shows the state of how you've tried to put yourself or place yourself. So this is what I just want to share with our viewers today. When you are positive about it, it will give you the zeal, it will give you the momentum, the energy. But if you're negative about it, most likely even your attitude will not allow you to make progress. But if you're positive, you maintain the positivity about the whole situation, or even when you face the challenges, chances are you'll bounce back, because you are looking at it from the other side of, what if it succeeds?
Correct.
Then you bounce back and say, give it a try again. And you never know. The very last we want to try, it could be a breakthrough.
It could be a breakthrough.
So it just, in a nutshell, it's just good for us to have a positive mindset. And it's something you keep on cultivating as you keep on moving, as you're doing whatever you're doing. Because again, it's not something that just come one day and say, now, you know what? No.
You've got to have the mental strength for this.
The mental strength, which comes in day after day, time after time, as you keep on practicing these things, as you do life. So it's just good to maintain the positivity and the positive mindset as you're approaching your goal or your dream.
Simiyu, how can people find this book? And before actually you tell us where you found this book, what's your favorite part of this book? Which chapters really speak to you or are from your heart? Because they are your words in here.
Sure.
Yeah. So which ones off the top of your head are you feeling like, that chapter, that's my dear one?
You know, I've written many books, including now this one. But now specifically for this one, I cannot really say there's a specific chapter that really captures my attention, because every chapter has adds value to this whole title. It's answering something. So I think, for me, I like the whole book, because I find everything in every page, it's so important. So I can't really say this is my favorite and all this. No, not really. But the whole book has, from page 1, when you're starting just the first, now for this book, from the very first chapter that is talking about dare to live.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Just start. Skillful goal setting. Why it's all about attitude. Courage as a whole chapter. Being a warrior and not a warrior. I like that. Moving from potential to performance. There's also about personal branding. How you packaging yourself. If you die now, I like this one. Will the world miss you? That's really painful. Use what you've got or lose it at the end of the day. I think I'm already liking the table of context in this book. How can we find it, Simiyu?
This book is available. One can get it in Nairobi. You can go to Elevation Bookshop. That is at the Kenya Cinema Plaza, mezzanine floor. You'll get copies of this book. You can go to Nuria Stores in Bazaar Plaza, 11th floor. You can still get copies right over there. You can go to Amazon. You can get the book. And then you can even just reach out to me on my social media. That is George Simiyu. It's still can ensure how you can get the book.
Fantastic.
Just go to my website, www.georgesimiyu.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, George. Want to wish you all the best, you know, even as you continue to promo your book. I can see obviously more about your company, which is a corporate training academic mentorship program in schools for personal development programs and so much more, known as inspiredtalks.inc. All right, there you have it. From resolution to execution, ladies and gentlemen, we've learned a lot from George Simiyu in regards to our goal setting, those resolutions that you managed to pen down. How are you going to move them from paper, okay, to reality? Whatever it is, whether it is your finances, whether it is your studies, whether it's in relationships. Ladies, you had that. Don't just say, I want a man. What kind of man, eh? And please have smarter goals, FYI, when it comes to finding that man. Are we together? Yes. If you enjoyed this conversation, let us know through our social media platforms at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, as well as X. Please go ahead and DM me if you would like to be one of the lucky 2 who walks away with a copy of this book, From Resolution to Execution. Let's leave it right there and say thank you so much. My name is Shiko Kaitani. We appreciate you. Let's hand over to Interactive as we take a look at what's trending today. Bye-bye.